From the hit series Life in the Amazon comes an all-new spin-off focused on animal life centering on the African rivers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Life in Africa. From the intimidating Nile crocodile with its razor-sharp teeth and its predatory instincts to the gorgeous African cichlids and tropical fish. To the hungry hippos, the mighty lions, friendly zebras, and the tall reticulated giraffes, every animal from Africa will be discussed. Life in Africa goes live right now. Please press start.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of Life in Africa. I'm your host, Aqua Alex Cardinale. Today, we are going to learn about the monster fish species that prowl African lakes and rivers. Believe it or not, there's not that many large growing fish in Africa compared to other parts of the world. For example, South America and the Amazon River, that has a lot of giant fish like the arapaima, the red-tailed cat, and the Paraiba catfish. But in Africa, there's only like 10 or so giant fish that can grow to gigantic sizes in Africa. And that is what we're going to talk about tonight here on Life in Africa. I have about 10 species that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to give you information on the species as well as an image of that particular species. And for a few of the species that I'm going to talk about, I have a video of them being kept in a home aquarium. Some species that are going to be talked about include the Nile Perch, the Goliath Tigerfish, MBU puffer, lungfish, and more. So I want to thank everyone that's watching this live and everyone that is catching the replay of this episode of Life in Africa. Thank you so much for watching. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get this episode started. And we're going to start by talking about the Nile Perch, a really cool looking predatory fish from Africa. Kind of like a giant datnoid. It looks kind of like a cichlid as well. So on the screen covering my head right now is a Nile Perch. Very cool fish. Now the Nile Perch is also known as the African snook, the Goliath perch, the African barramundi, the Goliath barramundi, giant lakes, or the Victoria perch. It is widespread throughout much of the Afrotropical realm, being native to the Congo, Nile, Senegal, Niger, and Lake Chad, Volta, Lake Turkana, and other river basins in Africa. It also occurs in the brackish waters of Lake Meera in Egypt. The Nile perch is a fish of substantial economic and food security importance in East Africa. It is silver in color with a blue tinge. It has distinctive dark black eyes with a bright yellow outer ring. It is one of the largest freshwater fishes in Africa. It reaches a maximum length of nearly 2 meters. So it reaches 6 foot 7 inches, weighing up to 440 pounds. Mature fish typically range from 4 foot 0 inches to 4 foot 6 inches, although many fish are caught before they can grow this large. Adult Nile perch occupy all habitats of a lake with sufficient oxygen concentrations, while juveniles are restricted to shallow or near-shore environments. A fierce predator that dominates its surroundings, the Nile perch feeds on fish, including its own species, crustaceans, mollusks, and insects. The juveniles also feed on zooplankton. Nile perch use schooling as a mechanism to protect themselves from other predators. Very cool predator to kick us off, the Nile perch. Now we're going to talk about one of my favorite monster fish from Africa. It's a monster fish that I have yet to keep, but it's a very popular fish in the aquarium hobby. A lot of people love this fish. A lot of monster fish keepers love this fish. I have yet to keep it. I want to in the future. And that is the Goliath Tigerfish. Almost like a giant piranha. This is Africa's representation of a piranha, in my opinion. Look at the size of those teeth on that Goliath Tigerfish. And look how huge that Goliath Tigerfish is. Now, the Goliath Tigerfish is found in the Congo River Basin and Lake Tanganyika. So you'll find the Goliath Tigerfish all over the Congo River and Lake Tanganyika. This large-toothed, highly predatory fish grows to an average length of 4.9 feet, so it can grow up to 5 feet and weigh up to 110 pounds. Its teeth fit into distinct grooves along its jaws. On average, each of its teeth can grow up to 1 inch. According to marine biologist and television presenter Jeremy Wade, their teeth can grow up to 1 inch. The largest recorded specimen weighed 154 pounds. The Goliath Tigerfish is a fishivore, feeding on any fish it can overpower, including smaller Goliath tigerfish and smaller tigerfish species. When hunting, this fish uses the calmer eddies of the rapids to ambush its prey, using its keen scent to detect prey. When a target is noticed, the fish accelerates to chase it down. The Nile croc is the only known predator of mature Goliath tigerfish. So the Nile crocodile is the only predator that eats mature Goliath tigerfish. Very cool predatory fish. All right. Our next couple of predatory monsters from Africa can be kept in the aquarium hobby. And this particular fish is a favorite of Ohio Fish Rescue. And that is the Abba knifefish. Now, I personally have never kept an Abba knifefish, and that is because they are just so aggressive. They do grow to a large size, but the Abba Abba knife is a monster due to its personality. It has a killer personality. The Abba Abba knifefish cannot be trusted with tank mates because it will likely kill anything that is put in its aquarium. And likely in the African lakes and rivers, it probably kills anything that comes near its territory as well. So anyway, the Abba Abba knifefish is found in swamps, lakes, and rivers in the Nile, Turkana, Chad, Niger, Volta, Senegal, and Gambia basins. It has a long and slender body with no caudal, pelvic, or anal fins. The dorsal fin is elongated, running along the back of the fish towards the blunt, finless tail, and is the main source of propulsion. It grows up to 5.2 feet in length and can weigh 42 pounds in weight. So this is one of the largest knifefish I've ever come across. 5.2 feet in length. That is a huge knifefish. The Abba Abba knifefish is nocturnal and has poor vision. Instead of its vision, it navigates and hunts smaller fish using a weak electric field, as demonstrated by the zoologist Hans Lessmann in 1950, when he noticed that it could swim equally well forwards or backwards, clearly relying on a sense other than vision. And that is the Abba Abba knifefish. Pretty cool looking knifefish, but too aggressive to be kept with or trusted with other fish. All right, now we're going to talk about pufferfish. Yes, pufferfish can be considered monster fish because the two pufferfish we're going to talk about are large growing puffers, and they both come from Africa. Let's get started with the most adorable puffer you'll see in the aquarium hobby, and that is the MBU puffer, or quite simply known as the Maboo puffer. My favorite of the freshwater puffers is the Maboo puffer. Very, very cool predatory fish. And I guess you could say the Maboo puffer looks kind of like me almost. All right, so let's learn about the Maboo puffer or the MBU puffer. It's also known as the Mabuna puffer, giant puffer, or giant freshwater puffer fish. Tetradon MBU, a carnivorous freshwater puffer originating from the middle and lower sections of the Congo River in Africa, as well as the east coast of Lake Tanganyika. This species is commonly referred to as the giant freshwater puffer due to its massive size, growing a length of up to 27 inches in length. As such, these fish are difficult to adequately house in home aquaria since they require a very large tank and appropriately scaled water filtration. Now, like all of its relatives, the MBU puffer is capable of inflating itself with water or air when stressed or otherwise frightened. It feeds on smaller fish, mollusks, crustaceans, snails, and worms. Species kept in captivity require a varied diet consisting of shelled foods to help ensure good health and to prevent tooth overgrowth. Now, the Maboo puffer is one of the few fish tonight that I have a video of in the home aquarium. And now we're going to check out the MBU puffer in the home aquarium right now. Very beautiful fish, the Mabu puffer. This video showcasing how gorgeous the Mabu puffer really is. It is a stunning, stunning fish. This one's being kept with Siamese algae eaters and guppies. Very, very cool puffer fish. All right. Switching gears now. Now we're going to talk about another large growing puffer fish that lives in Africa and calls African lakes and rivers home. And that is the Fahaka puffer fish. This is a puffer fish that my friend Garcia Aquatics has. And the Fahaka puffer is equally as beautiful as the MBU puffer. So let's learn a little bit about the Fahaka puffer. The Fahaka puffer is also known as the Nile puffer, globefish, or lineatus puffer. The Fahaka puffer is found in the upper Nile River, Chad, Senegal, Gambia, Geba, Volta, and Turkana basins in West, Northeast, and East Africa. The Fahaka puffer can grow to 14 inches in length, and they have the ability to inflate when threatened, and like many puffers, carry the toxin tetrodotoxin. Fahaka puffers, like other muscivores, feed mainly on benthic organisms, which may include freshwater mussels and snails. They are typically found in large rivers, open water, weed beds, and vegetated fringes. And that is the Fahaka puffer, a very cool freshwater puffer that grows large up to 14 inches that calls African lakes and rivers home. All right, let's get to another unique predatory charasin that calls African lakes and rivers home. This one is one of my favorites, and I want to keep one of these guys in my home aquarium, and maybe one day I'll eventually get one. And that is the African Odie pike, a very cool predatory charasin from Africa. And let's learn a little bit about the African Odie pike. Like I said, it's a predatory freshwater charasin. It is found in western sub-Saharan Africa from the Sassandra River in the Cote d'Ivoire in the west to the Shari River in the Central African Republic in the east, and southwards up to the Kaneki River in Cameroon. So you'll find the African Ode pike in western sub-Saharan Africa from the Sassandra River to the Shari River to the Kaneki River in Cameroon. Now, this is a moderate-sized monster. It can grow to 11 inches in size, so it's not an overly large monster. It's capable of being kept in the aquarium hobby. The African Ode pike is fishivorous and preys on a variety of smaller fish. It is mainly diurnal and is an ambush predator, waiting among dense submerged or emergent vegetation until prey comes within range and fish can lunge at it. The diet of the African Ode pike consists predominantly of cichlids and mormids, although smaller individuals have been recorded eating Synodontis catfish more than cichlids or mormids. Man, that sucks. I love Synodontis catfish, but that's okay. It's part of the life cycle. And I can't wait to get an African Ode pike for my aquarium. And the African Ode pike is another fish species that I have a video for to show you in the aquarium hobby. Here is a video of an aquarium hobbyist African Ode pike. And they're very beautiful looking fish, as you guys can see. Nice silver color, but they're ambush predators, and they will eat anything small enough to fit in their mouth. So you have to be careful with keeping these guys with tank mates. But anything that's too large to be eaten should be fine with an African OD pike. All right. And now we're going to get into some cool oddball monsters that come from Africa. This next fish kind of looks like an axolotl mixed with an eel. That's the way I think of it. Axolotl mixed with the eel. And it's a fish that I've been considering keeping in my 75-gallon aquarium. And that is the African lungfish. Now, lungfish come from all over the world. There's a South American lungfish and an Australian lungfish. But most of the lungfish species are found in Africa. That's where the majority of the lungfish species are from. Now, African lungfish are elongated eel-like fish with thread-like pectoral and pelvic fins. They have soft scales, and the dorsal and tail fins are fused into a single structure. They can either swim like eels or crawl along the bottom using their pectoral and pelvic fins. The largest species can reach about 6.6 feet in length, a really large lungfish. African lungfish generally inhabit shallow waters, such as swamps and marshes. They are also found in larger lakes, such as Lake Victoria. Here is an interesting fact about African lungfish. They can survive out of water for many months by burrowing into hardened mud beneath a dried stream bed. They are carnivorous, feeding on crustaceans, aquatic insect larvae, and mollusks. So the African lungfish is definitely a cool prehistoric monster from Africa. And my dad kept African lungfish years ago. He had one that snapped a giant iridescent shark in half. So the African lungfish has really strong, powerful jaws. So you have to be careful what you feed them and what you keep them with, because they can turn any tank mates into a dinner. Just ask my dad, because he lost an iridescent shark that way. All right, anyway, here is a video of a lungfish being kept in an aquarium. Look at the spots on this lungfish, a very beautiful lungfish. I believe this one is a West African lungfish. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe this one is a West African lungfish. Like I said, lungfish remind me of an axolotl mixed with an eel. Very, 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 very cool fish. Interesting, unorthodox predator from Africa. But the thing about lungfish is they primarily have to be kept alone. But sometimes there are peaceful lungfish out there, like the ones at OFR, Ohio Fish Rescue. So maybe I'll get lucky if I do decide to keep lungfish, that mine will be peaceful. Look at that adorable face, a face only a mother could love. Is that a pleco in there? Looks like a pleco in there. All right, and that is the African lungfish. All right, right now we're going to go ahead and take a quick intermission. This intermission is being brought to us by our supporters, Oasis Aquatics and Little Egypt Aquarium Club. When I come back from intermission, I've got 3 more African monster fish species that I'm going to talk about, which includes the Polypterus and the emperor cichlid. Life in Africa continues right after this intermission. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be right back. Hey everyone, Aqua Alex Cardinale here. I'm very honored and happy to tell you the news that I have a new sponsor and supporter. Oasis Aquatics is being very gracious enough to sponsor Aqua Alex and Aquatic Wetline. Here to tell you more about Oasis Aquatics are the owners themselves. Here is the Oasis Aquatics official commercial.
So my name is Tom. I started fish keeping when my grandfather dug a fish tank out of the attic when I was about 5 years old.
So my name's Matt. I'm part of Oasis Aquatics. Been doing this for a long time. Started when I was about 7 years old. 22 years of doing this business.
I'm 29 years old now. I never stopped. There wasn't a day in between where I did not think about fish keeping.
I was doing a vet tech job for many years. Eventually I stopped that because this is my passion in my life.
Matt and I have known each other far too long, as many friendships should be.
And you're like, you know what? We need a fish store. There's no fish stores around here. So we had to make it easy access for everyone, to have many varieties from the little small stuff for everyone to the monster fish keeper people.
No matter what it is that you're looking to do, we can provide it for you.
Little Egypt Aquarium Club is a proud supporter of Aqua Alex Cardinale and Aquatic Wetline. Little Egypt Aquarium Club is an aquarium club in Red Bud, Illinois, but it's also an online tropical fish supplies website. On the Little Egypt Aquarium Club website, you'll find tropical fish food such as repashy and flakes. You'll also find medications and breeding supplies and even live angel fish. Everything and anything you may need for your freshwater aquarium can be found at Little Egypt Aquarium Club. Orders over $200 get free shipping. Little Egypt Aquarium Club is giving a 10% discount by using the code ALEX. Remember, save 10% by using coupon code ALEX. Little Egypt Aquarium Club, my Shopify. Come.
Do you have a young child that wants to enter the aquarium hobby? Great. Then I've got the perfect book for you. It was written by 14-year-old tropical fish keeper Brian Conway. The name of the book? Fish Keeping for Kids. This is a great book for young children and really people of all ages. I wish I had this book when I was younger. Do you have children that want to enter the aquarium hobby? I think they would benefit from reading this book. There are sections in the book for various topics that are very beneficial. There's a section for setting up and cycling an aquarium. There's a section on different types of fish food, and even a section on different fish species. This book is very beneficial for kids entering the aquarium hobby. For more information, just go to fishkeepingforkids.com. Also, to purchase a copy of this book, just go to fishkeepingforkids.com. Look at the amazing stuff this book has. It's a very, very good read. You can't go wrong with this amazing book. A lot of great information in here. I think you're going to enjoy this book. Fishkeepingforkids.com. Aqua Alex and Aquatic Wetline proud to support this here on our fish keeping show.
Aqua Alex invites you to come celebrate 200 episodes of Aquatic Wetline live on Sunday, November 12th, 2023 at a special start time of 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. The 200th episode of Aquatic Wetline is action-packed with lots of fun tropical fish chat for the fish keepers. It's a fish keeping bash on the 200th episode of Aquatic Wetline. There may be a special guest fish keeper. If so, who? Don't miss the South American Cichlid Spotlight featuring Oscar cichlids, Geophagus, chocolate cichlids, and more. Schooling Fish Spotlight will include silver dollars, tinfoil barbs, Bela sharks, and more. What new fish will Aqua Alex get? Aqua Alex will also discuss why Asian arowanas should be legal in the USA. All that and more. It all goes down live Sunday, November 12th, 2023 at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on the 200th episode of Aquatic Wetline. Come one fish keeper, come all. You are all invited. See you there.
That's right, fish keepers. On Sunday, November 12th, Aquatic Wetline returns with a fish keeping bash. On Sunday, November 12th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, Aquatic Wetline returns to host the 200th episode. That is going to be incredible. But tonight we're hosting Life in Africa, and we're talking about African monster fish species. So let's continue on to our next African monster species. And this one is another popular group of fish that are available in the aquarium hobby, but their natural home is in Africa. And that is Polypterus, bikers. There are more than one species of biker. In fact, there are more than 20 species of Polypterus. They all call Africa home, and they're all beautiful fish. My favorite biker is the Enlacheri biker. I also like the Oronite biker. I also like the Delhaize basher. I also like the Senegal basher. Now, there are a plethora of ways you can pronounce the word basher. I say biker. Some people say basher. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. If you go to a local fish store and you say, hey, do you have any bashers in stock? Or if you have any bikers in stock, they're going to recognize what you're talking about. If they don't, then you can just simply say, do you have any Polypterus in stock? And you'll know exactly what group of fish you are talking about. All right. So Polypterus are a genus of freshwater fish in the basher family. These are a family of ancient snake-like fish whose origins date back to the time of the dinosaurs. All of the present-day Polypterus come from the freshwater rivers and lakes of Africa. They are able to breathe air via a lung-like modification to their swim bladder, and they can travel over land using their strong pectoral fin. There are two genera. There is the ropefish or reedfish genre, and the other is the Polypterus, which contains bikers. You have your lower jaw species and your upper jaw species. And like I said, there's a plethora of different basher species. Enlacheri, Lepaldi, biker, Senegal, Oronate, and Sorghai. Way too many basher species to recall off the top of my head, but there's a lot of biker species out there. So on a future episode of Life in Africa, we're going to talk about Polypterus in detail. And I may have somebody who is an expert on Polypterus come on the show and educate us all on this fish. But I do have one final video to share with everybody, and it's of a beautiful Enlacheri biker. Kind of looks like a lungfish as well. Very beautiful. They have that grumpy Oscar-like face. You know, Oscar the Grouch from that cartoon show. That's what this endless cherry biker reminds me of. Very, very cool, yet unique, distinct predatory fish from Africa. All right. Well, monster fish always has to have some kind of a catfish because catfish grow large. They have to grow large because catfish eat a lot of food. And we talked about this catfish on the first episode of Life in Africa. And we're going to talk about it again because I think it's an interesting species of catfish. And that is the Voodoo catfish. Here is a better image of what a Voodoo catfish looks like. Kind of looks like a giant channel cat or an eel tail cat. Very cool. Now, the Voodoo catfish is the largest true freshwater fish in southern Africa, reaching up to 5 feet in length and 121 pounds in weight. Few other catfish have such large second dorsal fins or such large barbels as do the Voodoo. Its barbels nearly reach to the origin of the pelvic fin. The color of the Voodoo catfish is light to dark olive brown on its dorsal surface, getting lighter over the mid-body to a light brown. Its belly is off-white. Fins are usually light brown. The Voodoo is found widely in rivers and other freshwater habitats of sub-Saharan Africa, only extending beyond this region in the Nile, although it's rare in the lower sections of this river. Among others, it is found in the Benue River, Volta River, Niger River, Gambia River, Senegal River, Lake Chad, Oma River, Congo River Basin, Lake Rukwa, Lake Kariba, Zambezi River, Lake Tanganyika, and Lake Edward. And that is the Voodoo catfish. Very cool, unique catfish from Africa. All right. And our final monster fish from Africa is the world's largest cichlid. Not only is this the largest cichlid in Africa, it's the largest cichlid in the world. Only the Temenus peacock bass is the second largest cichlid in the world. So only the Temenus peacock bass can grow equally as big as this fish. And of course, we are talking about the emperor cichlid, a very beautiful, large growing cichlid from Africa. Now, the emperor cichlid is endemic to Lake Tanganyika in Africa. Males can grow up to 3 feet and females can grow up to 2.5 feet, possibly making it the largest extant species of cichlid. Only the speckled peacock bass of South America attain similar sizes as an adult. The emperor cichlid is endemic to Lake Tanganyika, where it occurs in portions of the lake controlled by Burundi, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Tanzania, and Zambia. Within this range, it is a relatively common species found in coastal areas to depth of 330 feet. Adults are primarily fishivorous, while juveniles are omnivores. They also display habitat differences related to age, with adults living in small pelagic foraging groups when not spawning, while juveniles use shallower rock-stern waters for the protective cover they provide. They are occasionally offered for sale as aquarium fish, but their enormous adult size makes them ill-suited for all but the largest private and public aquariums. Very cool cichlid from Africa, the largest cichlid in the world. Very, very cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Life in Africa. And I hope you enjoyed learning about the different African monster fish species. I'm sure there are a couple of species that I left off of today's episode, but hey, this is only the second episode. I'm sure there's going to be another monster fish episode that I'm going to do featuring monster fish species from Africa. All right. Now, on the next episode of Life in Africa, we are going to begin doing aquatic life in different African countries. So like I did with life in the Amazon when I talked about Peru, Colombia, Brazil, Venezuela, just like I did with the South American countries, we're going to do that with the African countries. So on the next episode of Life in Africa, we're going to learn about the aquatic life in Nigeria. What fish species is living in Nigeria? We'll find out on the next episode of Life in Africa. You'll also learn a little bit about the country Nigeria. That's Life in Africa, episode 3. With that being said, thank you for watching today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. It helps me out a ton. So hit that like button if you enjoyed today's episode, and please share this video with your friends. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching this episode, and I will see you on the next Life in Africa. Good night, everybody.
On the next Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale, Saturday, October 21, 2023. Live at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. The Halloween theme continues and it's another action-packed episode. Alex Cardinale discusses Halloween costume ideas and shares Halloween scary stories. There will be a round of Halloween-themed bingo. Sergeant Slaughter will have Halloween facts and facts on Amazon. Aqua Alex's shocking featured monster fish is the electric eel. Zappity Zap. Oasis Aquatics featured fish is the MBU pufferfish. Chef Alex will discuss budget-friendly meals. Plus, Tampa Bay Buccaneers Week 6 recap against the Lions and Week 7 preview versus the Falcons, Karens of the Week, funny videos, and more. Live Saturday, October 21, 2023 at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time on YouTube channel American Alex Cardinale.
Rawr! Get ready to celebrate Halloween on American Alex Cardinale YouTube channel with a Halloween party live. On Halloween night Tuesday, October 31st, 2023, at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Rawr! This year's Halloween livestream is being hosted by Monster Alex Cardinale. Everything is monstrous about Alex Cardinale this year. Monster fish keeper, monster size, monster personality, and monster appetite. Monster Alex Cardinale welcomes Aqua Alex, Chef Alex, and Detective Alex Cardinale to the show. Aqua Alex will discuss monster fish species. Chef Alex will make Cookie Monster cookies and give out some Halloween-themed recipes. Detective Alex Cardinale will break down scary crimes that happened on Halloween. Plus, Halloween scary stories and so much more fun. Happy Halloween! Tune in to the Halloween 2023 livestream hosted by Monster Alex Cardinale live. Tuesday, October 31st, 2023 at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time on YouTube channel American Alex Cardinale.
Over that's all, folks.